Okay, so I did my literature review on a disease called celiac disease and how these individuals do suffer in silence. So to start off, my goal or vision for writing this paper was to provide an overview of how these individuals suffer on a day-to-day basis. Secondly, to analyze the research done and to find out the different concerns that these individuals face. And thirdly, to bring more awareness to the community and world about this disease. So some of you might be asking, what is celiac disease? It's actually categorized as an autoimmune disease, which just means your own body attacks itself. And so in this case, the body attacks any protein found in wheat, barley, or rye. And so eating this gluten triggers an immune response in the small intestine, and it actually attacks the villi that coats the small intestine. And so as you see on the picture to the right, you can see that the left villi is the normal villi where it's long and healthy, and then the right one is the villi affected by celiac disease, and it's, super damaged and it doesn't look healthy. And so although this disease is not really well understood, there is no cure besides going off gluten. So there's many different symptoms that can range from abdominal pain to headaches, as we see over on this picture, from skin to stomach to joint pain. So there's actually over 200 different symptoms that individuals can experience. And no two cases are exactly the same. And so really it's individual and, experiment through trial and error. So since this disease is not super well taught or understood, it's really important to teach society and teach the world how these patients are being affected on their day-to-day life. And so that is what my paper will focus on, is going through those different aspects where their life has been affected. And so the first one is their social life. And so a study done in the United Kingdom took 130 individuals, and they were asked numerous questions. And one of the questions was how celiac has affected your day-to-day life. And so they did coding, and they found certain themes. And so the two biggest themes they found was, one, that these individuals live with widespread arrogance, which pretty much just means that people don't understand what this disease is. And going gluten-free is portrayed many different ways, since there's a lot of fads out there. There's, rumors that you lose weight from it, and people do have a gluten intolerance. And so this doesn't compare with celiac disease and how it's an autoimmune disease where it really attacks your body, and they're not just going on it because it's a fad. And so secondly, eating out is such a social event in many different cultures, including in our culture in the U.S. It really brings people together, and you have a good time. But these eating out events leave people that can't have the food feeling awkward or lonely, right? And so a quote found in this study by one of the individuals, it said, "I found eating out to be so very difficult, especially when people don't take you seriously." The second aspect is mental health. And so a different study comprised of people that had diabetes, celiac disease, and normal individuals. And they compared the mental health and found that depression is more from the fact that these individuals have a chronic illness, and they must work through the grieving process that, they are probably going to be in pain for a while, and there might not be a cure. And so there's many different studies that kind of suggest the opposite, that celiac causes depression and anxiety. But I kind of liked the first study, and it made sense how it might not be actually the damage of the intestines that causing the depression and anxiety, but the fact that they are in constant pain. So the third one is family life. And so a study took a group of individuals that had celiac and their relatives. and they were asked to describe the last 3 dilemmas that had occurred around celiac disease and describe them. And their findings was that family members tend to worry about not having gluten-free food at a party or get together, and it restricts the family members from cooking whatever they want. And so family members might get offended if celiac individuals don't eat their food. There was an example in this study where a relative cooked a salad for the family member, and the person with celiac disease found a crouton on it. And the relative was like, "Oh, I'll just take that crouton off." But little did they know that even a fifth of a crumb would make this individual sick, and so it just caused for an awkward encounter between, loved ones. And so to the right is a diagram of their findings, the arenas where the dilemmas were experienced. They found that it's within the family, in social relations with friends and relatives, and in interactions with service professionals in restaurants and shops. And so they really do have an impact on relatives, which I thought was very interesting. And so I wanted to explore the disease across genders. And so a study found that women are more likely to have abdominal pain and iron deficiency, and men are more likely to have weight loss and skin problems like rashes. And so this diagram over here names many different symptoms, and it has a square, black square, and if the line to the right is longer, that means there's more women, and if the line to the left is longer, then it means there's more males that experience that symptom. And so we can analyze that and see the different symptoms across genders, which is kind of cool. So in conclusion, there's many different studies out there that talk about the challenges that these individuals face throughout their lifetime. These challenges include social life, mental health, family life, and are different even across genders. And so considering the limited knowledge we have around this disease, it makes it hard for these individuals to have hope in the future, because it looks like they will be suffering for many years or even their whole lifetime. And so these studies in this paper make it very evident that these people do have a challenging life ahead of them, and that we as society and even the world need to understand this and do all we can to help these struggling individuals. So that is my presentation. I loved learning about this and the different aspects of celiac disease.